Meanwhile, China's Health Commission is presently briefing the media on the current state of the viral outbreak in the country. Let's listen in to what's being said there.
The holiday break led to some suspension in the goods and the people movement, and also the investors are adopting an attitude of wait and see. In terms of the structure, in January and February, there are three positive trends in attracting investment. The first is the high-tech industry continues to attract investment. In the first 2 months, the high-tech sector has attracted 2.2% increase in terms of the investment. In particular, the pharmaceutical and medical device manufacturing sectors and the e-commerce sector have seen 6.7%, 139.7%, 30.5% and 49.8% respectively. The second feature is that the foreign investment is on the rise. In Shanghai Free Trade Zone, we can see such increase in Hainan and Zhejiang Free Trade Zone, special experimental zones. We can also see a great increase in terms of the percentage in attracting the foreign investment. And the third positive trend is that the inward investment from the Belt and Road countries are also on the rise. In recent years, China is constantly expanding the opening up and optimizing the business environment. While the global FDI is on decline, China's utilization of foreign investment is on the rise, and we are the second largest destination for FDI. According to the world data, for 4 years in a row, the global FDI has been dropped continuously. Yet, in the year 2019, China's attraction of foreign investment reached 141.2 billion US dollars, and China's proportion in the global FDI was 6.7% in the year 2015, but last year it was 10.1%. So this is indeed a high result. According to the UN statistics affected by the pandemic, this year's FDI will drop for another year, and the range is somewhere between 5 to 15%. The global FDI is shrinking, and there's a more severe competition to attract FDI, and also the downward economic trend in the world has complicated the FDI attraction. And indeed, China is faced with an arduous task to attract FDI. President Xi Jinping emphasizes that at this crucial stage, we need to adopt a long-term perspective to view and deal with the situation. And Premier Li Keqiang points out that despite the mounting difficulties, we should make every effort to strive for more FDI. So the central government and the Central Committee of CPC are working out measures to offset the negative impact of the pandemic. That's why 6 major policy measures have been worked out. In general, the positive trend of China's economy will remain unchanged. And in terms of the supporting infrastructure development, the human resource development, and etc., will remain unchanged. And the expectation and the confidence in China's long-term economic growth from the foreign investors remain unchanged. So we have the will and the capacity to fulfill the targets and implement the policy instructions. Let's continue on the left, on the front row, the second reporter, please. Thank you. With Hong Kong Economic Herald, just now it was mentioned that the export in the January and February was on the drop and affected by the pandemic. The foreign trade, especially the export companies, are faced with major pressure. So how to deal with it? We will have Mr. Li to answer the question. Thank you. For years, foreign trade companies are faced with difficulties like difficult and expensive access to finance or financing. Since the outbreak of the pandemic, the foreign trade companies have been challenged with similar problems, and they are faced with cash strain.